a little crappie. Yeah, Jimmy, look at that crappie. Calling that little, son? What's wrong with you? What do we have here? Might be what we're looking for. It sure might be. It might be a bass though, but I think it might be a crappie. Oh, looky here. Looky here. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's what we're trying to catch. I'm fishing at one of my favorite places in the whole world today, and it's a bass fishing place. Jimmy, that's not a bass. You're right, Jimmy, it's not. That is a big slab crappie right there. Now, we're not going to keep any of these crappie because we're at Benville Plantation at White Springs, Florida, and this is an amazing piece of property. 12,000 acres, lakes all over it. They got incredible cabins on it, an incredible lodge, great food, amazing. The manager here, Tim Roden, a great friend, and he's been here for 22 years, that'll just tell you. And it's a bass fishing haven, but it's also full of big crappie. And I wanted to see if I couldn't catch some crappie, and I'm seeing tons on my live scope, my Garmin live scope, tons of them. We'll show you and let you take a look at the cabins and the lodge and this, that, and the other after a while, but right now we're gonna catch crappie, and that is a beauty right there. Well, it's got some fillets on you. You're a lucky girl. Lucky girl, you're gonna get turned back. Woo. This is not only one of my favorite places in Florida. This is in North Florida. It's just actually barely in Florida. But it's one of my favorite places anywhere. It doesn't really matter. And we haven't over the years, you know, we've been doing this television show for, I think, 47 years now. And we've only fished Benville 2 or 3 times in all that 70 some odd years, 40 some odd years. But we've done great all the time. And we come down here to bass fish. But I thought, man, this time of the year and everything, let's see if we can't have some fun and catch a bunch of crappie. And that crappie fought like a bass. I'm telling you, fought like a bass. There's just a little something. That crappie's a little smaller. Got my Lucky Strike Lucky Minnow on there. This is kind of a little bit of a sickle tail. I don't really quite remember all the names of these little Lucky Strike trailers, but they're some of the greatest trailers you'll ever use. Just a little crappie magic jig, 1/8 ounce jig is all I've got on, black. I might put him on a new trailer right now. But this bait right here, you can actually fish that tail. You can see that tail on that little bait. You can fish it this way, and the action's gonna be up and down like that. You can fish it this way, and the action's gonna be sideways. Here's one of the things with this little Lucky Minnow type trailer. You can see how I'm holding it. I'm holding it dead steady, and you see it's still wiggling around. I mean, I'm not even moving it. It's wiggling around. Now, we do have a little wind blowing, and the wind's been blowing a lot lately. It may be able to blow really, really bad today. I don't know. Now, I'm going to hook this. I'm going to hook this up on my little crappie magic jig where the tail is sideways like that. And you see how I'm holding it? You see that tail's wiggling? I'm holding it steady. I'm not even moving it. Well, there's another one. That's a little one. That's not too little. Not too little at all. I've actually got braided line on here, and I don't even have a leader on. That's the amazing thing. I'm tied directly. That's a little crappie. Yeah, Jimmy, look at that crappie. Calling that little, son? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I might smash my barb down. They don't fish barbless hooks here at Benville that I know of. They didn't last time I was here. You can see that's another big slab crappie right there. Ooh. I think I will smash my barbs down just because it's easier to unhook the fish. Boy, you're awful cocky, Jimmy. Think you're going to catch a lot, huh? Yeah, I do. Hey, at Benville, expect to catch a lot. They've got crappie in all the lakes, and we're fishing the lake right here at the lodge. I mean, we didn't even go out on the property any at all. They got lots. I think they got like 18 lakes down here, something like that. This is a little bitty one here. I'm going to tell you what. That's a bass bait right there. That is definitely a bass bait. I forget I don't have that barb down. I'm going to shake him off. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to smash my barb down. This is one thing I like to do crappie fishing. If you're around where you got a chance to catch a whole lot of crappie, which you normally do in crappie fishing, if you can find them, you're going to catch a lot of them. Of course, they're a lot easier to find now with the live scopes. I'm going to smash those barbs down. Now, I probably will lose a few fish. with the barb smashed down. That happens. You lose them every now and then, but if you're gonna, I'm turning them back anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And hopefully we're gonna get into them and really catch a bunch. They appear to be scattered out. There's one right there. I just wonder if I can power pole down right here. I'm too deep to power pole down. Now that's a keeper size crappie. That's about 11 inches. Not as big as those other crappie. The crappie appear to be scattered out. We might find them where they're really bunched up and catch one just every single throw, but that's a good eating size crappie right there. Not a giant. By golly, I might have power pole down. I'm showing 10 foot of water. I've only got 8 foot poles on here. There we go. Crappie, I'm just fishing along. One of the easiest ways to find crappie in a place that you haven't been to before. And I fished this lake, but it's been years and years ago. But we're here the end of February, basically almost the 1st of March. The best way to find them is to put you a crappie magic jig on, Lucky Strike crappie magic, some sort of a trailer, and just start fishing down the bank, just like you're bass fishing. Once you find them, you can power pole down or just stay right there in that area. It's going to be, wind's kind of acting like it's going to blow a little bit today, cloud cover coming in. Usually rains in Florida every afternoon. That's real funny, catching all sizes. That's a really good indication of a healthy piece of water, no doubt about that, when you're catching all sizes. We're really not wanting those little crappie, but I'll wind them in if they get on the end of my line, that's for sure. That is for sure. That's what you want to do when you get a keeper on, power pole down and check out that area and see if there's not some more right there. We're going to find a spot here in a minute. We're just catching them one every now and then, really random, single individual fish. We're going to hit a spot here in a minute, probably when we catch a whole bunch of them all at the same time. Well, cast after cast after cast, I guess I ought to say. They're not too concerned about us, that's for sure. Right out on that point. Little point sticking out there. Crappie are like bass, you know, you can kind of follow the same kind of structure sometimes to find them. There's not really a lot of brush piles here. This is just kind of open water, some grass and vegetation around. But that's a nice fish. Now that's 2 I've caught off this point right here. Power pull down. Ah, that's a little better. You know, those are all females, but I don't think any of them are quite as big as that very first one I caught. I caught several little ones in between these nicer size ones. Bluegill. That's the first bluegill we've caught. I've been having a few bluegill bite. Can't even say a few bluegill. That's hard to say. And you know, when you're getting bluegill to bite like this, if you want to catch a few of them, now they're hitting that. Is you take and you move down from an 1/8 ounce jig down to a 1/16 or a 32nd ounce jig, and you can move down to a little bit smaller hook. The hook size is what's really, they'll bite this bait right here without any problem, but the hook size is what keeps you from catching too many of those right there. They got to just get it in their mouth just right. See, they're biting it right there out on that little point. I'm power pole down right here. Most of these fish are coming in about 5 foot of water, and so what I've done here, I powered pole down, and I'm really kind of, I pulled my tail down on that. Going to a solid chartreuse. So I'll try a few different colors here, just for the fun of it. Little lucky minnow. I might use that little skirted lucky minnow. I catch an awful lot of fish on that skirted minnow. And right there is the cabin that we're staying in while we're here at Benville Plantation. That's called the Duck Roost. A couple of big green-headed ducks are roosting right there for a couple, 2 or 3 days. Great digs, I guarantee you. They've got 4 or 5 bedrooms in there. Every single bedroom's got 2 queen-size beds, plus a bathroom. So, you know, you could really house quite a few people in each individual cabin. You can see the cabin spread out all down through there. There's one back over the other way too. The Pro Shop, that's right there behind us, and the lodge, so where you have your meals. Absolutely a great place to vacation, a great place for business, to bring business customers in, let them have a great day fishing. One of the great things about Benville is that the guides that they have here are all bass fishermen that have really nice boats. They have Rangers and Tritons and Nitros, you know, really nice bass boats that are all equipped, and most of them, Tim told me, had extra jobs. Now, our buddy here, John Robinson, that guides here, he works for Kurt Hitches, and said most of them have a full-time job, and so they just jockey around, you know, when they can take days off from work or on weekends where they can come and guide. So you don't just have a guide situation where you're just putting an old aluminum boat or something. You're in really nice bass boats with good bass fishermen. That's a crappie. Yeah, that's a nice crappie too. Yeah, that's a nice crappie, you bet. That's what we're looking for right there. That size big old crappie. You know, what I've done probably wrong today, I mean, we've caught a lot of crappie. We caught an awful lot of small ones. But what I've done wrong is you know, when I catch a fish, I've been slowing down, power poling down, and trying to catch several in one spot. And it really hadn't been working. I mean, every now and then I catch one or two, but usually when I catch one or two more, they're the smaller ones, not the good ones. It's hard for me not to throw back in the spot where I've caught a crappie. It's just, but they don't seem to be that way. They seem to be scattered out all down these banks. It's just a matter of just fishing, throwing, bringing the bait out there, get that bait out there about 5 foot deep. 4 to 5 foot deep seems to be the key. Right now under the boat, it's 5'6". So you could actually catch one all the way out to the boat, but they don't seem to be quite that deep. They're around 4 foot, most of them, seems to me like. So once you pass that 4 foot area, if you want to go ahead and wind it in, you can. A few of them, that biggest one that I caught, I think, it was up really shallow. Probably only about 2 foot deep is all. So they're in a lot of different areas. They're not quite spawning here in North Florida, but they're getting close. They're thinking about it. A lot of these fish are pretty fat. Not bulging fat, still a little ways off.